All right, so we're starting with circles, and the first page of your packet is focusing simply on the radius and the diameter. Whatever notes you add from the screen to your packet just helps you with your studying, okay? If you don't know the difference between a radius and a diameter within the next few minutes, and by the end of today, you are going to struggle the next few days, okay? On the board, it says a radius on the left block is a segment from the center of a circle to any point on the edge of the circle. Pictures are usually a lot better for us than a bunch of words. So on a radius, if I were to draw a circle, and I'm going to put its center, okay, so there's my circle. I've got the center identified. The radius would begin at the center and go out to the edge of the circle. That is a radius. Okay? From the center to the edge is the radius. Then on the other side, we have a diameter. So I'm going to draw another circle. As a picture usually is a lot better than words. And there's my center. And this says a diameter is a segment that runs across a circle through its center. The fact that it goes through the center is very important. So we're going to basically cut the circle in half. And that's the diameter. It's not. But if we don't know the difference between the two, we're going to struggle with the formulas that we're using today and tomorrow and Wednesday.
Can you go up and down with it?
Yeah, you can go in any direction. And you're going to see that on all the different examples that we do, is they can run left to right, up, down, sideways. Okay? Now, you also have a couple formulas under there. The first one tells us that one radius is equal to half of the diameter. Your radius is half of your diameter. And then also your diameter, if we think backwards, is 2 times your radius. Okay. So it takes 2 radius to make a diameter. It takes half of a diameter to make a radius. Which one's always smaller? The radius is always smaller. Both of them have to run to the center of the circle. Okay? That is very important for both of these, is that they have to attach to the center of that circle. We good so far? Okay. We are just simply going to mark the measurements of the radius and diameter of each circle. So if we look at number 1, the 5 millimeter segment, is that the radius or the diameter? Okay, that is the radius. So if the radius is 5 millimeters, what is the diameter? Colin? 10 millimeters. Very good. All right, on B, the 12 centimeter segment, is that the radius or the diameter? Okay, that's the diameter. So we would mark the diameter as 12 centimeters. If the diameter is 12, what is the radius? 6 centimeters. Good. All right, on C, what is the 9 meter segment? That is the radius. All right, so if the radius is 9 meters, what is the diameter? No. What is it? It's 18 meters. Okay. The 16 kilometer segment, is that the radius or the diameter? Good. That is the diameter. So if the diameter is 16 kilometers, what is the radius? 8 kilometers. Very good. All right. Take about a minute or two and finish E through M. And then we're going to find out who's going to give us the answers. All right, time to go over the answers. All right, we'll start with E. I want the radius and the diameter, please. Cameron, E.
The radius is 11 meters and the diameter is 22 meters.
Very good. 11 meters and 22 meters. Okay, F. Clara.
The radius is 15 millimeters and the diameter is 30 millimeters.
Very good. All right, G. Lawson.
The radius is 13 millimeters and the diameter is 26 centimeters.
Very good. H. Colby.
The radius is 7 centimeters and the diameter is 14 centimeters.
Very good. All right, next 4. I. Ella. I mean, Ann. Sorry, Ella went to the bathroom.
For the radius, I got 9 millimeters, and then for the diameter, I got 18 millimeters.
Very good. All right, the radius and diameter for J. Colin.
The radius is 1 meter and diameter is 2 meters.
Very good. All right, K. Radius and diameter. SJ.
The radius is 17 centimeters, the diameter 34 centimeters.
Very good. All right, L. Radius and diameter. Rian.
25 millimeters and 15 millimeters.
Very good. Okay, and then we had letter M. John has a round swimming pool. The distance from the center of the pool to the edge is 3 meters and known as the what? What is that 3 meters, Kate?
The radius.
Good, that was the radius. Question wants to know, what is the diameter of John's pool? Millie?
6 meters.
6 meters, very good. Okay, so in your own words, I need someone to explain to me, loud enough so the microphone will pick it up, how you can tell the difference between a radius and a diameter. Lacey?
In a radius, the line starts in the middle of the circle and goes up to the edge. And in diameter, the line on the graph is all the way through the circle.
Cuts the circle all the way through. What does the diameter have to run through?
The center.
Noel?
The center.
It has to run through the center. I don't think you study it next year, but I know in geometry you'll study the parts that don't run through the center. Okay, so right now, diameter and radius must make contact with the center. Okay, all right. We're going to go to page 2, so just turn it over. And we're going to talk about the circumference of a circle. And there's going to be some notes on the board. There they are right here. I would get that first set down. The circumference is the distance around a circle. It's kind of like perimeter in that you're measuring the outside of the shape.
Wait, were you using pi?
We're using pi, yes. But since perimeter is found by adding the sides, circles don't have sides. So we're going to use a formula. So circumference is going around the circle. Some examples, those 3 check marks, are ways that I could ask you for the circumference without using the word circumference. Okay? Like if I wanted to know how big the fence is around a circular garden. Fences go around. Yeah. The on-deck circle in baseball, that chalk line that goes around it, if I wanted to know how long that chalk line is, then I'd be asking you for the circumference because I want the outside of the circle. The revolution of a tire, that would be a circumference question. So these are some things that could be brought up in word problems, and if we don't know that they relate back to circumference, we would struggle to answer them. And I'm sure there's other questions that could come up, but those are probably three of the more obscure ones that I've seen, especially if you're not a baseball player and don't know what the word revolution means. Okay, and then you got your formula. The formula is on the top of that page. And the formula is C equals pi d. What does the C stand for? Circumference. Notice the word circumference starts with a C. Its formula starts with a C. It may seem silly, but I have seen many students, when I ask them for circumference, they go and pick the formula that starts with an A. Pick the formula that starts with a C. Okay? Pi, that little symbol, we will be using that. And for most of the questions that we do, we're just going to replace it with 3.14. What type of number do we know pi to be? Irrational.
Who came up with that?
Mathematicians who got really, really bored and started comparing circumferences and diameters of circles. It's a constant number that all circles have in common. It wasn't George Washington. I don't think he was a mathematician. Okay, and then in the formula, what does the letter D stand for?
Diameter.
The diameter. Okay, so when I'm asking you to find circumference, you need to have the diameter for that circle. Simple enough?
So basically 3.14 times the diameter.
3.14 times the diameter. That's exactly right. It's very easy.
You just have to remember what pi is.
Most of your questions will tell you what to use. Like it'll be in little parentheses right there for you.
Maybe like a fake pie.
No, they could tell you to use 3.14. They could have you use 22/7. They could say leave it in terms of pi. Those are things we'll get to over.
What is terms of pi?
It means you leave the pi symbol alone. You just leave it sitting in there like a variable. It's easy, I promise. Okay, so on the page you have 4 circles, and they've given you either a radius or a diameter, and we are being asked to find the circumference. Now, I like to keep things very, consistent in class, and I also think it's important that we always start out with our formula. So if I'm trying to find the circumference of this formula, and I'm given that part that says 5 centimeters, what is the 5? What is the 5?
The radius.
Okay, it's the radius. In order to find circumference, I need the radius. I need the diameter. So if the radius is 5, what is the diameter?
10.
The diameter is 10. All right, start out. What's the formula for circumference? Basic formula.
C equals pi.
Yep. C equals pi d. Since we're finding circumference, we're going to leave the C alone. What will we replace the pi with? 3.14. And then we'll replace the D with 10. Good. And you multiply 3.14 times 10, Clara. I'm not really sure how you got a negative when you're taking 2 positives and multiplying. Lucy? It is 31.4 centimeters. Okay, the next one, the 9 meters. What part of the circle is the 9 meters? Okay. So the diameter is 9. What is the circumference formula? What is the formula? C equals pi d. It gave me the diameter, so I don't need to do anything to that 9. I need to leave it alone. What are we replacing the pi with? 3.14. D replaces with? Very good. We multiply 3.14 times 9. 28 point what? 26. It's 28.26 meters. Very good. Okay. When we're dealing with circles and pi, more likely than not, it'll come out as a decimal, simply because of the value of pi. All right, number 7, which brings up the point. Make sure we read all questions carefully because a lot of your circle questions will have you round. These won't. These are, you know.
Are we ever gonna have decimal like not circumference, feet like radius?
Yeah, like a decimal in your radius or diameter. Yes, you will. You can multiply 2 decimals. All right, number. It's the purple one up here. The 7 foot. Is that the radius or the diameter? Okay. So if the 7 is the radius, what is the diameter? 14. Very good. All right. We start off with our formula. C equals pi d. Very good. Pi is going to become 3.14. Diameter is 14. We multiply them together. I'm sorry, what is it?
43.96.
Thank you. 43.96 feet. All right, our last one on this top part. What is the 3 inches? Claire? Good.
Do you mean like is it the diameter or radius?
Uh-huh.
The diameter.
Good. What is our circumference formula? C equals pi d. What will I multiply to find the circumference for this? 3.14 times 3. And our circumference is?
9.42.
Very good, 9.42 inches.
Could you get the diameter of 1 inch?
Yes, you can.
So you went ahead and do it?
Well, if you're finding circumference, no, you wouldn't have to. Area, yes, you would have to. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, on the bottom half, we are finding the circumference, and they didn't give us a picture. They just told us a specific measurement. So for number 1, if the diameter is 5 meters, and we are using the formula C equals pi d, how will we find the circumference for number 1? Clara?
3.14 times 5.
Very good. 3.14 times 5. And what does that give you, ma'am?
15.7.
15.7 meters. Okay. Number 2, we have a diameter of 8 centimeters. Noelle, how are we going to find it?
You would do 8 times 30.14.
Very good. So pi times the 8. And what did you get, ma'am?
25.12
Very good. Okay, number 3 gives us a radius of 3 millimeters, and we're trying to find the circumference. Where do we need to start? Lawson.
So you have 3 millimeters, right? And then you do that times 2 and get 6.
Okay, so the diameter is 6. 3.14 times 6. And what did you get, dear? 18.84 millimeters. Okay, and number 4, Lucy.
1 times 2, and then that's 2.
So the diameter is 2.
And then 3.14 times 2, and your circumference is 6.28 inches.
Very good. Very good. So what does C stand for? What is circumference measuring?
The outside of a circle.
The outside distance of a circle. Good. What does the D stand for?
Diameter.
The diameter. What is the diameter?
The length of edge going to the middle.
Edge to edge going through the middle. Very good. All right. You are going to complete page 3. Find the circumference for each circle. This one does not have units. And we're not going to put the answers to these on the recording. We'll make the people at home actually have to do some work. But y'all will be wheel spun to find who's answering the questions. Dun, dun, dun. So the video people will get more information when we go to a word problem. So I want you to go to page 10. Page 10. 2 of them will be. I'll explain it in just a second. What? Okay. We are going to do 1, 2, and 5, but I will tell you right now, 2 and 5 we will not be going over until tomorrow. But number 1, though, I want to do with us together. Trevor needs a new bicycle tire. His tire has a circumference of about 112 inches. What is the diameter of the tire? The one number they gave us was 112 inches. What is that 112 inches? No, it's the what? It's the circumference. It has a circumference of 112, and you're being asked for what is the diameter. What's our circumference formula? Okay, C equals pi times D. In which place will we put the 112? Where the C is, because it's the circumference. What other part can we replace? The pi with 3.14. And we're asked for the diameter, so that variable stays put. How do we find diameter if we're given circumference? Ontario.
The circumference by pi.
Divide the circumference by pi. Very good. So we divide by 3.14, circumference divided by pi. And we're going to get the diameter. And we're going to be extra studious and read the fact that it says round to the nearest tenth. Not hundredth. Tenth. So no long decimal answer. Cameron, what's the answer?
The answer is 35.7.
35.7 inches. Very good. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. 2 and 5 are due for class tomorrow, but while you're working on it, I want you to get your computer out and go to Kahoot, because I think we need to have a little fun, friendly competition to see how we're doing. And I'm going to pause this and start uploading it. Yes, I'll let you two play on the same computer.